So let's go back about almost 3.5 years ago. All of us were not here. All of us were not keeping the Sabbath. All of us were not wearing tallits. All of us were not wearing, all the men weren't wearing the suits, and all the ladies weren't wearing all the dresses. We were going to church because we were taught that this is what we're supposed to do, and this is, you can do it however you want. And then so 3 years ago, we all were living different lives, and we were different people. We were living our own life. Well, COVID happens, and what happens then? All the churches shut down. All the churches shut down, and when the churches shut down, I just started getting into this really almost like spiritual, like maybe not battle, but more searching. And I think a bunch of us were searching. Whether we knew it or not, many of us were searching for the truth. That's why you were going on, Rumble or on Facebook and all these other places to find the truth, whether it's, in all this stuff that's out there. And I'll never forget, one of the things I was trying to search for was, where's the real church? Because I remember reading in Acts talking about what the true church is supposed to be like and how Paul would constantly say, this is how you're supposed to operate. And I would then read it, and then I would look up at the preacher, and he wasn't doing the exact same thing as the Bible was commanding him to do. And I actually got very, not necessarily depressed, but very sad. There's probably no churches in our lifetime that literally follows the word of Yahweh, follows it to a T. And then something strange happened. My mom pulls into a driveway, and it was right after the election night. And I'll never forget this random guy. He's kind of funny. He said, students, come back in, get your pencils ready. I'll never forget, I said, that guy, I don't know, because there's a lot of people out there saying, I know what's going to happen at this date. But the thing was, it did trigger me. Something just triggered me that said, there's some wisdom, there's something there. And then all of a sudden, he popped up again on YouTube and then on Facebook. And then his name was Professor Toto. And then one day, Professor Toto says, class is almost done. By the way, if you ever live in driving distance, we have a little church. We have a little church that we do the Sabbath at 6 o'clock. And for all those people that want to watch, we might record or might not, I don't know. And I remember saying, little person. And I remember when you had your old YouTube, I remember we were watching all those videos, political stuff, and then all of a sudden I said, well, what's this guy like? So I then click on his channel, and I started scrolling through here, and I was like, whoo, this guy, he's an amateur in videos. Wow. But for some odd reason, he's got millions of videos of the end times to the bride to everything. I was like, and he even interviewed a witch. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this little guy that nobody knows on the face of the earth? And then I saw one, I want to kind of go here. I saw one video where you had the camera right here. And you were, I don't know if it's still available on FH, I don't know if it's available. But you were dancing before the Lord in this video. I think I saw it during, in between of the election. And I remember looking, and I said, that man, he's wearing a suit. He's actually taking the church seriously. That guy, he has old carpet. He has that old piano. He's got those chairs. And for some reason, Yahweh told me that we got to go back to the old way, how we think. We can't go forward with how they're telling us to get all the LED screens and the skinny jeans and the fog machines. We got to go back to the old way. And I remember hearing that, and all of a sudden, he's up there, he's wearing a suit, and I'm like, wait a second. But the thing that kind of turned me off at first was that he screamed. But then I liked it because he had truth. But then he screamed, and then he had truth, and I was like, yes. And I didn't understand it all. I didn't understand it. But I remember we went to, you just kept encouraging everybody, come to Toto's retreat, come to Toto's retreat, just come on. Come to Lake Gunnersville, Alabama. And I remember you said, we're going to have it free. And I said, what? So we drive all the way down, and you have all these speakers, all these political people, people that, for Trump, all the T-shirts for Toto, all the, Patriots Buying Club. You can, you did swimming. And I told Pastor after the meeting was over, I said, thank you so much for making this free. Nobody on earth, even in Minnesota, all the other Christian churches that I've been to, you have to pay hundreds of dollars to get what we just got here, or even go to a Trump rally. But I'll never forget, it was at the last service, and I was telling, right after Toto last night when I was at the Home Hope, I was telling Tilly, I was telling Sister Janice, they were still up, just telling them how we got here, and we were talking about the church, and I'll never forget, I saw those. I saw that. And I asked him, I like how you have those 10 commandments, because that's showing structure in the church. That's showing that we got to have, structure. And then I remember I literally said, Pastor, I call him Toto, I'm like, and I like that. What's that? And he leans over, he's like, that's the menorah, son. And I'm like, the manure? What? I can't remember what that is. That looks Jewish. Is he Jewish? And then I started seeing these little things, and then I was like, man, maybe he is Jewish. Yeah, maybe he is. But it wasn't until he finally revealed, the scales got off my eyes and all of us, that we're Israel. We're the lost tribes of Israel returning back home. And I'll never forget, every day when we started saying, this is our pastor, this is our home, I said, well, one day we'll get to be here. In my mind, I'm like, well, this is something different. I would love to see what it looks like. And I come walking in I think it was end of March for Passover, and I was blown away. And I've been to many churches, I've been to many conferences, I've been to many Christian colleges, I've been to so many youth camps, whether I was, someone who went there as a kid, or whether I physically went to go do video work. Nothing comes close to what the Spirit moves and how we perform things, how we take things so seriously, how we just, it's amazing. And he gives us a great example. Pastor and Sister Karen and Bishop and all the others, they give us a really great example of how to act in the church the right way. And that's just something I just really want to share on my heart. So thank you very much.